thing is menstruation.
Extreme amounts of healing vibrations. Religion versus spirituality.
I mean, sex sells, right?
And turns you into peanut butter. When I was a little kid, I remember my mom always reading to me picture books before bed. And I remember loving these moments we had together. But as I grew a bit older and I sort of knew how to read, these books eventually evolved to less with pictures and more words. I remember the first novel she read to me, The Magician's Nephew and Indian in the Cupboard. And I loved these books, and I created vivid worlds into my tiny little mind about them. And I would always ask silly questions about these books, like if I put candy in the ground, will there grow candy tree? Or if I put toys in the cupboard, will they come alive? My mom would always reply in ways that I could easily understand. I believe that these moments I had with these books created something that hasn't gone away. And I read countless books since then, like the Harry Potter series and Percy Jackson, to a bunch of Marvel comic books, and to even Sherlock Holmes series and 1984. Books are awesome. Who agrees? So, before I started grade 12, a friend of mine came up to me and asked for me to join in on a project that they were doing, to build a library. I thought, what a perfect opportunity to be part of this project, and what a coincidence too. And she said this library was for a village called Bangaya, which is in the east of Bali, which this village didn't have a proper library for anyone to access. So my friend raised funds for this project, and all we had to do was build this place. She said that the construction would be in early April of 2017, and I thought if I was going to do this project, I needed to come up with something in the meantime that could contribute to it. So I began thinking. I thought of doing some fundraising for this project, from books and money, and thought of maybe doing some bake sales at the farmer's market with a booth and a sign in front of it that said, "Give me money for this project, please, I need it urgently," or something like that. But I thought, what an uninspiring thing to do, and boring, so I threw that to the side and went a different route. Maybe for a plus side of this library project, to look into how books and reading in general was beneficial for the person's health. I found that boring too, and I threw that to the side. I'm an artist. I like to play guitar. I like to draw. I thought I needed to create something for this project. But so in this time of trying to come up with something to do for this library, instead I read Frankenstein, Life of Pi, and The Martian. I loved the challenges that faced the straight astronaut Mark Watney that was on Mars, and the psychological torture that happened with the poor Indian boy out at sea with a tiger, and the horror-like aspects in Frankenstein. And funny thing was that I read these books in the classes here at Greenstone, and we learned how to dissect them in these classes, and just gained a whole bunch of writing skills and literature skills in these classes. While I was trying to figure out what I could be doing for this Greenstone topic, I didn't realize that these classes and the books from these classes would inspire me to do something I never thought of ever doing. In the Christmas holidays, I had found out that my uncle had written and was in the middle of publishing a book. And I thought, wow, how inspiring, how awesome, and just how cool would it be to write. I thought how awesome it is that a relative had done this, and I thought how cool would it be to write a book of your own. And my mind just ran wild with images and stories, and I just thought, this would be awesome if they were written down. So January came, and I hadn't decided what to do yet for this project. And I remember lying there in bed one night, freaking out about this library project and this whole project, and I said to myself, what the hell is wrong with you? Do something already. At that moment, I decided I was going to write a book. So, my uncle wrote a book. How crazy would it be if I wrote a book too? So, I started writing straight away. And had a clear image of where my story would go. But as I was writing it down and getting deeper into the story, I went different directions and changed different routes of where it would go. And I kept doing this, deleting whole sections and paragraphs and doing this all the time. And I just thought to myself, why are you always doing this? And I was frustrated myself with doing all these different changes. But I thought, why not let your imagination run free? You just write whatever you wanted. This is what the story is about. An unfortunate man named Andrew Drought was forced to carry a mysterious briefcase on a plane ride from New Zealand to Tahiti. He was put in a situation he could not say no to. Due to his stressful state, he had a few too many to drink, and in his drunken clumsiness, had something awful to the point of tears happen to him. He needed to do annoying things to reverse the situation, otherwise he'd have to face the ultimate punishment, death. So, the mysterious briefcase, I named the book Andrew's Lunchbox, and the mysterious briefcase in this book is the lunchbox. Andrew doesn't know what's inside the lunchbox, if it's jewels, money, a bomb, or peanut butter. All he knows is that he needs to carry it keep it with him the whole time. So as I was writing away, and I kept writing whatever came to mind, April came, and it was time to build this library. So I put the pen and paper to the side, and I started constructing. The conditions were perfect. We started on a Wednesday in the blazing hot sun, and I was instructed to move bricks and boulders and gravel from one end to the other and wherever they wanted me to do. And I did this for 5 days, a few hours each day. It was a fun experience and a great workout, and I enjoyed the time being there and the people around me. But as I finished up with this project, I felt kind of sad that I just wanted to do more for this place. I didn't feel like I spent enough time there. But then I thought to myself, you're writing a book for this place. You need to get back home and start writing again. So I did so. I went after Bungai village, I went back home and I started writing straight away for days and days and days. But with that process also came with putting off this story for days as well. I remember writing hours on end when cool concepts came to mind. And write all throughout the night, even if I had school the next day. But also I would sit there in a blank, not knowing what to do, and only writing 2 sentences within 2 hours. It was a roller coaster of a story, but I prospered and I pushed myself, and when I wrote out that last sentence, I just thought, no way I did this. I was super excited to show all my friends and my teachers, and I just couldn't stop talking about it. But there's this feeling that came over me that I wasn't finished with the story yet, that I needed to do more, that I needed to make some illustrations for the story. So if you can't tell by the pictures, the Andrew's Lunchbox is a mystery with a splash of science fiction. Why did I choose science fiction? Because I like science fiction. And it was more of a down-to-earth science fiction too, not the typical, it's the year 2199 and Earth has been terraformed into a giant robotic being run by Maxwell's AI robots. There's many books out there that have this sort of theme. So my book is gloomy with a lot of suspenseful sections that will keep you guessing, kind of like The Martian and Frankenstein. But I didn't want to make things too depressing, so I added some humorous scenes in there as well, like The Martian, and yeah. So to wrap up this presentation, I'd like to say that the library project is still currently being built, but will be fully finished and furnished in the upcoming summer. Other than that, I'm so happy with how this book turned out, and I'm super excited to donate it to this library and to our school library as well. After all, I thought I needed to leave behind a physical legacy. Anyways, but what I want you guys to take off from here is that I'm just a high school student, and I wrote this book. There are many people out there that dream their whole lives of writing a book, and until their old age. And then they're just not inspired to do so anymore, and just too lazy. I know some of you out there have have a story in mind that you would like to share. Write it down. It might start with scribbles on paper. Thank you.